Is extreme sensitivity a mystical gift? Or is it a biological glitch? You know, for a long time, we've kind of treated hypersensitivity like a superpower, right? Like you're some kind of mind reader. But we're going to ask you to reconsider absolutely everything you know about being an empath. Because today, we are dismantling that heavily romanticized myth, and we're replacing it with a concrete biological reality. Dr. K puts it so powerfully. She says, popular culture frequently elevates extreme sensitivity to the realm of the mystical. This is a dangerous romanticization of suffering. Wow. Just let that sink in for a second. The research firmly establishes that this intense laser-like hyper-attunement to others, it is rarely a magical calling. It's actually the direct consequence of early psychological trauma. It's a systematic severance from your core identity. What looks like pure compassion is often just a lifetime of exhausting hypervigilance. So let's break down exactly how this happens. Section 1. Severance from the deep self. To really understand this glitch, we have to look at the original design. Biologically speaking, a highly sensitive child is born with this massive, gravitational reservoir of sensory focus. And by natural design, the absolute true north for all that immense focus is supposed to point inward, right at the child's deep self. This inward alignment is literally the engine of your autonomy. It's built to lock onto your personal desires, your boundaries, and the visceral joy of just creating things for yourself. Simply put, your compass is supposed to point to you. But here is where the whole system gets derailed. Imagine a primary caregiver who creates a toxic emotional environment. Maybe it's unresolved pain, emotional immaturity, or just a deep subconscious need for control. That adult essentially acts as a chaotic, magnetic anomaly. They simply cannot handle the child's independent, joyful trajectory. So the child's natural inward impulses are suddenly treated as threats. And the result? The gateway to the child's inner world is forcefully barricaded. You're practically locked out of your own mind. Section 2, the survival glitch. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the body adapts. Faced with that blocked core, your internal compass violently shatters and the magnetic needle completely inverts. And the human nervous system executes this massive shift in mere milliseconds. It's incredible, but it's also tragic. Instead of tracking your own internal desires and keeping you centered, the compass locks entirely onto the external environment. Your creative potential gets turned inside out. It collapses into this hyperactive radar system, obsessively scanning the room for fluctuating moods, silent expectations, and the unspoken demands of the adults around you. The logic of your nervous system here is just chillingly effective. It decides, if it is dangerous to exist for myself, I will ensure my survival by making sure everyone else is perfectly regulated. That right there, that is the genesis of the wounded empath. When you master people-pleasing and totally abandon your boundaries, that's not inherent selflessness. It's not some angelic virtue. It is a traumatized attempt to control a volatile environment just so you can stay safe. You are literally handing over the administrative rights of your own reality. Moving right along to Section 3, the somatic trap. Let's look at the biology of this. Understanding this biological reality perfectly explains why just sitting in a quiet room often causes sheer terror for empaths. Those unexpressed emotions, they don't just magically evaporate over time. Think of it like a coiled spring getting tighter and tighter. Every time you swallow your truth or force a smile to keep the peace, that suppressed energy crystallizes into trapped kinetic force. That is the somatic trap. A lifetime of suppressed autonomy doesn't vanish. It gets permanently trapped right there in your subcortical networks. We're talking the amygdala, the brainstem, your actual muscle tissue. It's a permanent physical distortion of your internal navigation. And because your brain is desperate to prevent another emotional exile, it builds this massive architecture of avoidance. The primary rules are strict. Do not look inward. Do not disrupt the peace. Read the room. So that terror you feel when things get quiet, that's just the frantic realization that you are supposedly steering a ship, but you have absolutely zero access to your own coordinates. Section 4, extremes of systemic fatigue. So the crucial point here is the long-term cost of living like this. You simply cannot live outside your own body forever without paying a massive physical and mental toll. Eventually, this severe systemic fatigue pushes you into one of two distinct extremes. First, you've got the compulsive savior. This is when you mistake trauma bonding for actual love. You're endlessly regulating other people's emotions because you subconsciously believe that anticipating their needs is the only way to earn your safety. And on the flip side,
The anesthetic collapse. If you've ever felt the overwhelming urge to just disappear under a heavy blanket for days, this is it. It's resorting to numbing out, whether that's mindless doom scrolling, substance use, or total isolation, just to silence the deafening noise of the outside world.
Section 5, the protocol of recalibration. This is where we fix the glitch.
Because there is a way out. The inescapable evolution of your consciousness requires you to dismantle this glitch and bend that magnetic pole back inward. Recalibrating a hijacked navigation system takes a deliberate mechanical approach. The research outlines 5 exact phases for this. Map the external pole, objectify the adaptation, discharge the somatic static, execute the micro-return to center, and finally, anchor. Let's break down exactly how you actually do this in the real world.
Okay, here is the protocol in action. First, map the pole. You have to notice when a subtle shift in someone's tone triggers a disproportionate spike of panic in you. Recognize that that's your trauma response. Second, objectify it. Strip the emotion away by neutrally stating to yourself, my access to myself is blocked right now. That creates crucial distance. Third, physically expel that static electricity from your muscles. You can't just think your way out of tension. Try a somatic release like tremoring or a massive deep exhale. Fourth, impose a strict 10-second delay. Tolerate your own truth for 10 seconds before you rush in to manage someone else's comfort. And finally, seek a demand-free harbor. Find an uninvested witness, like a good therapist or guide, who does not need you to regulate them. That gives you a safe space to repair your compass.
It is absolutely crucial to validate this. Your magnetic force was hijacked way before you possessed the tools to defend it. It wasn't your fault, not at all. But remaining enslaved to this glitch, that is a choice you no longer have to make. By actively breaking this cycle of hypercompensation, you really can reclaim the absolute true north of your sensory power. And this brilliantly illustrates our ultimate goal. You are taking all of that massive, outward-facing energy, pulling it back and returning it to the only place it ever truly belonged, the pure, autonomous creation of your own reality. Back to your center. So I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Are you ready to break the cycle of hypercompensation and dare to sail your own ship? The compass is yours to fix. Your deep self is waiting for you.